is it, my third day in Aswan? Right, there's a little bit to unpack tonight. This one's going to be a bit long, but I want to backtrack to 2 nights ago when I was in the Nubian village. I've since found out where I stayed there is probably not the best side of the railway tracks, if you know what I mean. There's Nubian villages and there's Nubian villages. Most people would probably go on to Elephantine Island, which is in the middle of the Nile here, to the Nubian villages there. And they might just cross the other side and go up to where I was, just for have a look at the few stalls and hawkers there selling stuff and things like that on a felucca trip. So it's not the most pleasant place to go if you want to do something. But I was fine with it because I just needed a down day anyway, so I didn't do much, mucked around. Did bugger all really. I ended up on a felucca ride in the afternoon and then had dinner there. But anyway, so what happened is there's a heap of stalls on a bit of a dirt road that goes through the village. I'd had a look there in the afternoon. Of course, everyone wants you to come in and that. Because I'd walked down and then back through it, they sort of knew who I was. And from what I can gather, I was the only one staying in the village. Now, after that night, after I'd had dinner, I was walking back through that street again, and a fellow called me in, a youngish fellow, for shirts and that. He said he had a shirt my size and that, and he did have a shirt my size, which is rare to find. So there's a shirt, and I wanted to get a little shirt, small shirt too, for Levi. Anyway, so the price he quoted me was astronomical. It was just ridiculous. So it's more than what you'd pay in Australia. I just basically said, nah. I gave him a price. He wasn't interested in coming. He tried to come. He came down a bit. I actually went up a little bit. And in the end, I said, nah, look, don't worry about it. I'm not interested now. And I left it at that. And I walked only had about 20 minutes to walk, went up in the room. About 11 o'clock at night, there's a knock on my door in my room. I open the door. It's this fellow with another fellow and the shirts wanting me to buy them at the price that I said. I've virtually told them where to go, that they had the opportunity, they lost it, don't come knocking on my door. And how they knew what room I was the only one staying. It's only a 4-room guest house thing, so obviously, it wasn't hard to find me. And anyway, I told them where to go, thinking that was the end of the story. All was good. The next morning, my driver was picking me up at 8 o'clock, I think it was. 8 o'clock, yeah, that's correct. So he sent me a message, and there's only a little dirt road, 1 car width wide through this village too, by the way. So about 7:45, he sends me a message that he's downstairs waiting. I was pretty much ready to go anyway. So I grab my bag, I go down, and we're putting it in the car, and this old lady comes up and starts talking to him. He then says to me, apparently you agreed to buy a shirt last night and you haven't bought it. And I said, they can go to hell. I said, I set a price, and I virtually told him the story, and how at the middle of the night they come knocking on the door, and he just said, no, that's no good. Anyway, we left. So anyway, that's the end of that story. So, right, let's get on to today, because there's a little bit of a story today as well, with the disagreement. I'll run you through the disagreement first, then we'll get on to today. Great day. So my driver organises other drivers to pick me up if he can't. So what he'd done today, and when I first came to Aswan, my contact didn't pick me up, another driver did. But yesterday my contact drove me around. But today I was flying to Abu Simbel, so I only needed a lift to the airport, about 20 minutes, half hour, and a lift back to the hotel. That was it, so I wasn't touring. So what he'd done, unbeknownst to me, he'd organised a taxi to pick me up. So when I walked out the front here this morning, my contact name was Hamdi. So when I walked out, there's a taxi standing in the old fella, and he's going, Hamdi. I said, oh yeah. He said, airport. I said, yeah. So I knew that was it. So I thought, okay, here's my pick-up for the day to the airport and back. So away we go. And we head off to the airport, all fine. I go get on the plane, all good. But so we went to the airport, at 8:30. I get back at about 3 on the plane in the airport. I walk out, and here he is, and here is the original driver that picked me up. Oops, why'd that stop? Here he is, and the driver that had picked me up at the train station. So they were having a bit of an argument about who was taking me. I was a little bit confused. Anyway, so Hendy was on the phone, and he says, "No, you go with my driver, not the taxi." And what is he doing there? So, well, I don't know. So this taxi driver then wants me to pay him. And I said, well, when I got to the airport, I tried to pay the taxi driver then and there, and he wouldn't take any money. So my thought was, okay, that's part of the travel deal that I have with my contact. Then an argument installs between me, the driver, the taxi driver, and some other bloke who seems to be in charge of the taxis a bit. So we're all in an argument there, and basically he wanted me to pay because he had been waiting there since the morning, and I had no idea why, nothing that I arranged. So I said to him, I'll pay for the fare from the hotel to the airport. The price he quoted was like 600 Egyptian pounds. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So in the end we got down to 350 or something like that, and I paid that. But yeah, more of a misunderstanding, I guess, than anything. But and then my contact says, he said, when I see you tomorrow, I'll reimburse you the money. But anyway, so that's the bit to unpack. All right, let's get on to what happened today. So yeah, flew down to Abu Simbel. Fantastic. It's only a 40-minute flight. The plane was probably 2/3 full, 737. So at Abu Simbel, there's nothing really there bar Ramses Temple and a bit of a village. And in between, there's nothing, just desert. What is amazing is the dam wall for the Nile is an Aswan. When you get to Abu Simbel, the lake is still going on past Abu Simbel after you've flown for 45 minutes. This thing is huge. I think it's over 1,000 kilometres long, this dam. Well, it's a lake now, a man-made lake. But anyway, so got down there. The plane was only probably 2/3 full. Went down, had a look at the temple, and that absolutely amazing. Built 1300 BC, so it's what, nearly 3,500 years old. And it's just, you can just walk. You pay a fee obviously to go in there, into the complex, and you can just walk. You can touch things, walk on things, sit down on things, lean up against things, get photo. You know, it's very just open. It's very just, I'm surprising the amount of tourists that normally would go there. They haven't rubbed some of the stuff off. But anyway, that was fantastic. There is nothing else there to see, but that is quite good. Now, normally, my flight got changed from yesterday to the day before. Normally, Egypt Air run 2 flights a day, about 12 to 13 flights a week to Abu Simbel. At the present, they're running 3 a week. That's how much the tourist industry has dropped off here. I'd say in all of Egypt. I thought at Giza that when I was there that'd be really busy, but it was busy, but nothing that bad. Today, the only people at that temple were the people on the plane and maybe a couple of tourist cars that had driven down. There were no buses. Normally there can be 30 to 40 buses in the car park. Well, there was none today. So that just gives you an example of what the issues are in the Middle East here, how that's impacted. Now you think that impacts right down the line to the shop owners, to the fluker. Yesterday at Philae Temple, there's 70, 80, 90, 100 boats that take people across. About 4 were getting used. Maybe 10 at the most. It's just unbelievable, the lack of tourists. But the place, it's safe. The fellow was telling me today, he's on one of these Nile cruises that go from Luxor to Aswan. Big cruise boat, there's 5 people on it. That's all that's on it, 5 people. And they hold like 300 or 400 or something. And there's 5 people on it. But, you know, Tripadil, Cosmos, Trafalgar, Viking, all of them, they're still running tours. So it's safe, but people just aren't booking the tours because the fear of what's going on in the Middle East. So, which is disappointing for the people here because it's as safe as any, you know. You're thousands of kilometres from anything. and you're not in a country that's involved in any of it or part of any or sided with anyone. And you're in a country that has dealt with this sort of conflict for a long time, so they know how to handle themselves. So yeah, look, disappointing for the locals, but good for the tourists that come, because there's just not the people. You know, you go to the monuments and that, and it's almost easy to get a photo with that, and you just wait a few minutes, and people will take their photo, move, and let someone else so you get photos without anyone in the frame. So it's fantastic. But Abu Simbel, oh wow, really good, really good. Flight down, fly back. You can do a car trip down there or a bus. And what happens is, it's really strange. They all line up out near the airport because the Great Desert Road's closed. And when everyone's there, they open it. They let all the vehicles through, so they all have to go through in a convoy. They then close the road, and they're escorted through for the 4-hour drive down to, I think they have one stop, down to Abu Simbel. But in the car park today in Abu Simbel, no buses. Whether they were there earlier, I don't think. It was just so quiet. Unbelievably quiet. Yeah, so I came back, and that was about it for the day. By the time I got back, it's 3-4 o'clock. I was going, I went and had dinner in the restaurant tonight. Beautiful restaurant here, down on the water. So I had a Heineken beer, a soup, and a curry, beef curry. 10 Australian dollars, and 4 of those dollars was for the Heineken. So it's $6, and it was beautiful. All freshly cooked, and it's hot food. It's really nice, really nice. Breakfast here is almost Western. It's, I would say, better than what you have what I experienced in Turkey, but that's nothing in Turkey. But if you stay in a chain hotel, you tend to get a bit more of a Western breakfast. So tomorrow, tomorrow my driver Handy, will pick me up here at 9 o'clock, and we'll make the journey to Luxor, which on a straight run is 4 hours, but we'll stop at Kom Ombo Temple and Edfu Temple and have lunch sort of along the way. So it's sort of a day of it. Then we'll get into Luxor tomorrow afternoon, and then it is full on for 2 to 3 days in Luxor. I've had a bit of a easy time here, chilled out a bit, half days, but I'm going to have 3 big days in Luxor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So keep watching the vlogs. Hope you enjoy it. Bye.